Hi, I'm Kenneth WAJDA. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photography talks. So today I want to talk about if you are choosing lenses to take on a trip or on a shoot somewhere, what are your lenses if you had to only take one or two? I'm going to talk about two lenses because I just did a commercial shoot for Google, and it was a incredibly good event where I was documenting people, where I was close to people, but I was also in workshops and I was in classrooms. And I ended up shooting the majority of that whole shoot with just two lenses. A Nikon 17 to 35 zoom lens, it's a straight 2.8, and a 105 2.8 Micro-Nikkor. That 105 is a great lens to be able to isolate some backgrounds and get some people interacting and get some portraits in a sense. They may not be portraits to the camera, they're portraits of people working and talking in that event. But then that 17, I'm a huge fan of a 17 held high and creating a sense of space in places like classrooms, or just showing us something in the foreground and something else in the background. As we get the wide angle, gives you that feeling of you're there with the subject. Telephoto certainly doesn't have as much of that we're here feeling as the wide angle does. So I really liked it, and I would recommend that. Was a great combination. And I think I did another commercial shoot at a business function back in the summertime, and I did the same thing. That wide angle lens, zoom lens, 17 to 35. It's not even a modern lens. It's a Nikon D, which is their early version of it. And it has an aperture ring. And it's not the most latest updated one, but it doesn't matter. The lens is what matters, and the glass is in great shape. And I picked it up for a couple $100 at a little clearance sale at a studio guy in Denver was having. And that 105 Micro-Nikkor, the same with that. That's a D lens. That's not one of the latest Gs. That's not one of the supersonic motors or whatever they call those. It's an older lens, but they work great. And you have to make sure that your body will work with the kind of lenses that you're using if you're using any of those older lenses. And that's an example of that. But they work great. And it's one of those things where people are sometimes bogged down by how much should they bring and what do you need. And sometimes having less choice is a good thing. Sometimes going to a trip with just two lenses means you don't have to choose between 10 lenses. And sometimes limitations are where creativity happens. So for me, I had two cameras on my shoulders. One was the wide angle camera, one was the telephoto camera, and then I could pretty much shoot anything because I had both cameras going at once. I didn't have to change lenses on bodies or anything like that. So I'm curious what you find that you use, and other people maybe have other recommendations for what they like. Now I tend to lean toward wide angle, so that wide angle is a good way for me to work. But for other people, they may lean more towards telephoto and they would want something over 200 millimeter. But I didn't. I like that 105. All right, comments are welcome. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support, hit the Patreon. And thanks so much for watching. I look forward to talking photography with you every week and sharing what I do and how you do it. All right, here's the good light.